Hey everyone, this is Eric Gisler, former candidate for Georgia State House District 121. I haven't posted a video in a while. I'll be honest, I needed the time, to recover, not so much from my own loss last year. I knew going in that was going to be an uphill battle, but just the fact that this country decided to re-elect Donald Trump, I needed time to get over that. So what I've done since then, I have deleted my X account. I'm not on there anymore. I'm still on Meta platforms for the moment, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Figure I'll stay on TikTok. By the way, Trump saving TikTok this past weekend was pure 100% political theater, and it's showmanship garbage that he's known for. I am on Blue Sky. You can look me up there, Ian Gisler. So I am doing that. I am very concerned with the way that things are going and the way that these social media platforms are all falling in line with what is increasingly a fascist movement in this country. And to be honest, it's terrifying. That's not what I wanted to make this video about today, though. I wanted to talk today. Yesterday was Inauguration Day, and the new president wasted no time signing a flurry of executive orders that are, most of them, terrible, not good for the country, not good for the planet, good for billionaires. So there's that, I guess. But that's not even what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today is the Laken-Riley Act passing the Senate. For those who don't know, the Laken-Riley Act is named after Laken Riley, who was murdered by someone who was undocumented here in Athens, Georgia, actually in the district that I ran to represent. So it's very close to home. It's a tragedy. It was horrible. The person who committed that murder deserves to have everything thrown at them. But this act is not the way forward. And I'll just talk a little bit about that. So current law says that if you are in this country illegally, you can be deported if you're convicted of a violent crime. So rape, murder, assault, things like that. That's fine, right? And if Republicans want to, deport people who have done those things, more power to them. That's current law. That's the way it should be. Those people should not be allowed to stay here. Fine with that. What the Laken-Riley Act does, though, it adds a bunch of nonviolent crimes to that list. So reasons that people can be deported. It includes things like theft, shoplifting, things like that. Not exactly where I think the line should be drawn, but if that's all the Laken-Riley Act did, I wouldn't have to agree with it, but okay, that's what people voted for. Fine. Where I really disagree with it, though, is I've got the text right here in front of me, and it says someone who is charged with, is arrested for, is convicted of, admits having committed, admits committing acts which constitute the essential elements of any burglary, theft, larceny, shoplifting, or assault on a law enforcement officer offense, or any crime that results in the death or serious bodily injury to another person. And the problem I have is or. It includes in that list of things is arrested for. That's not convicted. That's not, not even charged. That's just arrested. If someone accuses an undocumented immigrant of committing shoplifting, for example, this law says that person gets detained and potentially deported. No court, no due process, none of that. That's terrible. That enables bad actors. So I can absolutely see, MAGA Republicans out there going and picking up day laborers at Home Depot and having them come to their house and do a bunch of work, refusing to pay them, and instead calling the police to report them as illegal and having them deported, right? I could see people taking advantage of undocumented immigrant women for sexual assault, all kinds of things. And what can they say? All they got to do is call the police and say, hey, this woman stole from me. She's picked up and detained and potentially deported. It deputizes the worst people in this country. A bunch of which were just let out of prison yesterday, the January 6th insurrectionists. So that's great. And what really pisses me off about this law right now is that our 2 Democratic senators here in Georgia both voted in favor of it. I've heard all kinds of justifications, mostly around it being purely political, that, John Ossoff's on the ballot in 2 years and he didn't want to, vote against this because it seemed popular. I get that, but I think that's short-sighted. I think that this law provides the legal framework, the legal groundwork, the legal green light for the mass deportations that Trump and the GOP ran on. And I think that when people see people in their community being forcibly separated from their families and sent off to internment camps to await potential deportation for weeks or months at a time or years at a time, I don't think anybody's going to want to admit that they supported this law. So I think it's a bad political calculation. I think it's also patently unconstitutional. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution guarantees due process, and ever since that amendment was ratified, it has been interpreted by the courts repeatedly to apply to both citizens and non-citizens here in the country. This law completely flies in the face of that. I don't think anyone can say that they expect this Supreme Court to uphold that precedent and strike this law down. I think, on the contrary, they will find whatever loophole they possibly can or make something up to be able to support this. So this is it. Day one, our Democratic senators bent the knee to Trumpism, fascism, violence and aggression towards immigrants. It's bad. It's day one, and this is where we are. It's terrible. So yeah, I decided I needed to make this video. I would say, we can't rely on algorithms. When you see people making these points, try to share them, get them out as far and wide as possible. And people are probably going to flame me in the comments about this. But this is how I see it. I think this is the legal framework for a lot of really bad things that are about to happen in this country. And I am disgusted that my 2 Democratic senators here in Georgia voted in support of it. So I'll leave it with that.